The new year came in quietly, almost cautiously, as if it wasn't sure it was welcome yet. Snow had been falling since morning, covering the city in a soft white layer that muted sounds and slowed people down. She planned to spend the night alone. Not out of sadness, just exhaustion. The past year had taken too much energy, and the idea of loud celebrations felt overwhelming. She cooked a simple dinner, poured herself a glass of wine, and turned on the TV only for background noise. Midnight felt far away, and she was perfectly fine with that. Around 10 in the evening, just as she was settling on the couch with a blanket, there was a knock on the door. Not loud or demanding, just careful, hesitant. For a moment she thought she imagined it. No one ever came by unannounced, especially on New Year's Eve. She hesitated, then opened the door slowly. He stood there, snow on his coat, holding a small bag in one hand and looking slightly embarrassed. He said he knew it was last minute, that he almost didn't come, but something told him he shouldn't spend the night pretending he didn't care. She didn't answer right away. She just stepped aside and let him in. They didn't talk about the past at first. They didn't need to. He took off his coat, she poured another glass, and they sat in the kitchen like it was the most natural thing in the world. Conversation came back slowly, carefully, touching safe topics before drifting into deeper ones. They talked about the year that was ending, about things that didn't work out, about how both of them had learned to be strong in different ways. There was no blame in their voices anymore, just honesty. Somewhere between laughter and silence, the tension that once defined them faded into something softer. As midnight approached, they moved closer to the window. Fireworks began to appear in the distance, scattered at first, then brighter, louder. They counted down together, not perfectly in sync, laughing when they messed up the numbers. When the clock finally hit 12, they didn't rush into a kiss. They just stood there for a moment, side by side, letting the new year arrive without forcing it to be anything special. Then he reached for her hand, slow and intentional, and this time she didn't pull away. Later, sitting on the floor with empty glasses and soft music playing, she realized how unexpected the night had been. She hadn't planned it, hadn't prepared for it, hadn't even hoped for it. And yet it felt right. The new year didn't bring answers or promises. It brought presence. And sometimes that's the best kind of beginning, one that starts quietly with a knock on the door and the courage to open it. The morning arrived slowly, almost shyly, as if it didn't want to interrupt what the night had created. Pale light slipped through the curtains, revealing the quiet aftermath of celebration. 2 glasses on the table, coats draped over chairs, snow still falling softly outside. She woke first and lay still, listening to the steady breathing beside her. It felt unfamiliar and comforting at the same time, the kind of calm that doesn't demand explanations. When he stirred, they exchanged a small smile, one that carried the understanding that neither wanted to rush the moment by defining it too quickly. They made coffee together, moving carefully around each other, sharing space without stepping on it. Conversation returned gently, not heavy, not guarded. They talked about the simple things they had missed. Morning rituals, shared jokes, the comfort of knowing someone would be there when you turned around. He admitted that coming to her door had scared him more than any big decision he'd made all year. Not because of rejection, but because of how much it meant. She confessed that opening it had felt like choosing uncertainty over safety, and yet she didn't regret it for a second. As the day unfolded, they went outside for a walk through the quiet streets. The city felt reset, tired but hopeful, traces of celebration still visible everywhere. They spoke about the year ahead without making promises they couldn't keep. Instead, they talked about intentions, being honest even when it was uncomfortable, choosing presence over pride, not letting fear decide for them. It felt grown, real and grounded, nothing like the dramatic restarts people expect from a new year. By evening, when it was time for him to leave, the goodbye didn't feel heavy. There was no urgency, no desperation to hold on. Just a long hug, a shared look, and the understanding that this wasn't an ending or a miracle fix. It was a step. As he walked away, she closed the door gently and leaned against it, smiling to herself. The new year hadn't arrived with fireworks inside her apartment. It arrived with courage, honesty, and the quiet decision to let someone back in. And that, she knew, was a beginning worth protecting.